I didn't even put the countdown timer, so what the hell? We'll just start talking. So, Mr. Vinny, it is late on the East Coast. Name is probably off in the distance. Like, wait a minute, someone has seen me. Someone has heard me. We'll see. So, I'm not worried about anybody appearing in the chat. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I'm not worried about it. But I did want to capture something in here and honestly do a test. I want to figure out if this damn thing will actually work.
It's been solid so far.
Okay. Well, that's good. I want to hear about that. So let me tell you a little. Let me tell you a little expo, Mr. Vinny. Let me tell you a little expo. So the Thursday was interesting because that was the first time they had a VIP night. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me check, but because we don't know what this is going to be like. This is the first time you got the extra day and whatever. That's cool. That's fine. So let's figure this out. Turned out that they had planned it very well. I was very impressed. Apparently, Steve Menzies' plan, at least what I saw, seemed to work pretty well. I showed up a little bit before the time. They had a line to do a vaccination screen, which is really just two pieces. It was just show me that you got your paperwork. Cool. Show me your ID. Cool. You manage that. You get the green band. You got the green band, you're good to go. Now, if you take a shower, this is basically paper. So if this gets wet and it disintegrates, you got to go in line again. So it's fine. The other one is this is for the actual attendance in the show. You got the two of them, you're gold. So you can basically just now after the first day, you can basically just stroll through with these two without being bothered. You can bypass that line, walk right around, and you're good to go. So it's not too bad. It's well, basically you deal with it on the first day. So because the VIP night was a scaled down amount of people, then you can actually bypass the line after that. So you just take care of business. You're good to go. And then it's good. The first night was quiet, actually. There's definitely business being done. I know I saw some people making some decent sized deals. I did see everybody's hero, Jeff Wilson, sports card investor. Very exciting. Very exciting. But I think you'll enjoy this. Where I decided to make up camp, I looked around a little bit, but where I decided to make up camp was over in the food court area, and I was just chilling, and I found Bobby, and I found some Yannick and a couple of folks, and I was like, okay, cool, let's just sit here and chat and do whatever. I like your Steve impression, walking through the hallways of the house, so that's pretty good. But
that's what happens when you have a dog.
No, I get you. So what happened is as we kind of sat there and kind of hung out and chatted for a while, what I thought was kind of fun was that when we went in the course of being there, guess who sits at the very next set of tables right beside us? Hello, sports card investors. Hello, sports card investors. Oh, yes. But here's the thing. So at first we sit down in the food court. And in the food court, if you're going to eat or whatever, you can sit down and nobody's going to bug you if you're not wearing your mask because you've got to be sitting in the chair and you're going to be eating food or drinking, right? So you got to use a little common sense. But so we sat down and we were kind of chatting away a little bit. And, a couple folks went by and like said hi and whatever, but I still had my mask on initially when I first sat down. So I was only down there for a couple of minutes sitting there chatting, where a couple of folks came by. So the first day, two folks came by and they go, "Are you Carlos?" And I was like, "Yes." So one recognized Bobby's voice and one recognized mine and then walked over and was like, "You're the Carlos guy, right?" It's going, "Oh, I see your channel. I see the show." It's like, "Yeah, good." So I found that very entertaining.
So if you were from the States and you came up, you would have to show your vaccination card to get in?
Yeah. Well, if you're in Canada, you have to show your vaccination stuff anyway.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So what I did, and this is just what I did. Now, hopefully down the road, this will not be necessary. But this is maybe a tip for anybody where if you're in a region where this even matters or it's even a thing. For us, there's a thing with a QR code. And what happens is you get it. I had the piece of paper, but I can do a digital version on here too. So I had a backup. So what happens is they can just scan this. Done. If your name matches what's on there on your ID, you're gold. So now that was more important though, to be honest, with restaurants. Because you need that too. And it's something because I hadn't been out and done any vacations or anything. I hadn't been in restaurants in a while, really. I hadn't needed to because I was at the house and doing my thing. But yeah, at the restaurant, they do want to see that as well. They scan it. And then obviously your ID. So I kept forgetting because I haven't driven in years. So I have my passport, but I don't have my driver's license. So I keep having to go back to the car to go get the damn passport because that's my ID. So it's like, oh yeah, hold on, I need this too. Let me go get that. So that was funny for the restaurant thing. And I did it both days. So far I'm 2 for 2, just completely forgetting about that thing. It's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out and I'll get it, but hey, it happens. So Aussie Card Dad, good evening. Yep, it is an impromptu one. I was hoping I could do a live of some kind. I didn't want to commit and promise to something I couldn't deliver. I didn't want to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it for sure on Friday. I don't know, man. I can't. Yeah, it's very much an after hours. I'm actually running all this off the laptop. I don't even have my second screen. I got nothing. I was chatting with Vinny a little bit. He was asking me if I could look into something for him if he's able to complete a deal. I'm happy to pick it up for him if we're able to get that done. We'll see. So it's all good if it happens. If not, no worries. But yeah, I have no issue with that, picking stuff up while I'm there. So I just figured I'd come on for a little bit. We chat about what had been happening at Expo so far, give a little background on that. And I'm still recording a video and doing stuff. I did the video for the pickups the other night. So that was on the channel. And I'm going to do a little vlog. It's going to end up being one video. I'll do one video where I'm going to take my camera with me and walk around the Expo a little bit. I'll give you guys some of the ambiance and so you can get a taste of what it's like. I want you guys to be able to see it from my perspective, and I'll walk around with the thing. So I'm making time tomorrow to do it. But it's been good for chatting with folks. Honestly, we've been kind of just chatting, hanging out, networking and whatever. Like, yeah, I bought some cards. Honestly, I didn't buy any cards on the VIP day. It was mostly just chatting and BSing and honestly just sitting there and doing it. And we had some laughs and we had some fun. So Yannick, we met up with him. We met with Sanderson or Eric. We had dinner with him and Bobby tonight, and Yannick as well, and met some other folks that are Bobby's friends, and it was a good time.
Was Joe Dr. Exclusive there?
So actually, Joe was one of the ones I saw on the first day, and I saw him a little bit today as well.
Okay.
So that was really good. So yeah, so it was good. It was nice being able to chat. And Canadian Cards Mike,
Cool.
I saw him today, and I helped him out with he was asking about a Juan Soto, so I can offer some advice on that. And I did see a card that I thought might be kind of interesting. So he ended up seeing something. We ended up walking around a little bit more to the kind of the side booths that are a little. So to give you perspective, you got the main hall, but it's a very thin strip. Normally the Expo is a rectangle, so you got like 12 or 13 rows. That's normally how they do it. But the way this one is set up, it's very narrow. It's only 4. So but what happens though is it's long. So yeah, it's 4, but it goes quite a long ways down. So that's why I say like the video, I'd love to show you kind of like, so you can see like, no, seriously, it just goes on for a long time. Straight line.
There's been a lot of videos that I've tried to watch in the past that doesn't give a full picture of the whole thing. Whereas you've seen, I can't think of who it was.
So here's tonight's late night sponsor, guys. There you go. Coke 00.
Cheers.
Yep.
I think it's Foo 112. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
He did a quite extensive walkthrough, and there's been a couple people that did walkthroughs through the National in Chicago last year.
Sure. Yeah.
But nothing to the extent that I can remember for the Expo.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be interesting to see for us U.S. folks, because it's definitely on my list of things to do in the upcoming years, months, whatever comes first or latter.
Sure. I would think, so Vinny, what I would say is for a guy like you, so I'll let him defend himself later. We've had a lot of fun with Eric Sanderson. He's described it as being a step beyond a kid at a candy store, and he very much is. He's the young kid running around, very excited about things. Whereas I'm the grizzled, cynical veteran. It's like, dude, I'm just sitting here in my damn chair.
Dave.
Yeah. So it's like, look, I'm just here to. I know how this thing works. I will say, the biggest differentiator, and I can see some of your comments, guys. I'll answer some of those questions, but thank you for asking them. Absolutely. What I'll say is this. One of the biggest differences this time around that's going to be interesting is that obviously doing the show, there's been a lot of folks that have come by and said hi. Even one of the younger guys came by and said, oh man, I've seen the show and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So it's different. As opposed to the show, traditionally, I would kind of walk around and just do my own thing, kind of quiet, to the side. I knew some folks. I knew some of the dealers and stuff previously anyway, but it's been different. Being like, yeah, people have seen the stuff. And even some of the folks I ended up talking to, and then it took them a minute and they kind of put 2 and 2 together and like, oh, wait, I have seen some. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's fine. Great. Good to know. But it's been interesting. So I would say Hazy Card Dad definitely enjoyed it. But playing into what I said for you, Vinny, is no, you would get a kick out of it. There's a lot of great stuff here. Definitely the skew is a little bit more even, but there's still tons of hockey. If you're into that, like there, we got stack. Look, it's gonna collapse on all of us and kill us all. There's tons of it. We're not missing any.
How's the wax situation?
Pretty good. I will say some of the prices are okay. Some of the prices are decent. I'm not gonna promise, guys, but I may splurge on the flex of all flexes. If you're ready for this, 91, 92 Pro set. And if I do, God damn it, I will open it on the channel. Brace yourselves.
English or French?
Yes. Yes, Vinny. Yes. The answer is yes. We'll see. I don't know.
I was picking that up for $4.99 a box.
Yeah, but that's about what it should be worth, to be honest with you. That's about what it should be worth. It's not worth anything. But it just made me laugh when I saw a bunch of boxes of it. I was like, guys, this is 91, 92 Pro set. Settle down.
When I put that set, when I finally bust that and put it in pages, the pages will be worth more than the cards.
This is facts. This is facts.
Probably.
Yeah, this is facts. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I just sit there. I almost want to buy a box of something really junky just for fun because I would get a kick out of it anyway. Like some of that early 90s really junky stuff. But like I looked at it, and I'll be honest, I think some of the regular box prices, some of them are okay. Some of them are ridiculous. The prices I've seen so far for the junky boxes are unjustifiable. Now I got to take a better look and look around a little bit more and see what else is going on. But I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. I don't know about this. I got questions. So I did not see DJ Ski myself. However, I did see the commotion. Hobby icon, legend, GOAT. Jeremy Lee did do a panel with Jeff Sports Card Investor. Goats squared, people. Goat squared. You can't handle this level of goatness. And DJ Ski has also been around and out and about doing some stuff. There was actually an exclusive that I think he did with eBay. I didn't partake, but it was... so to give you the difference, I did the VIP thing, hung out, whatever. Today, and you'll love this, Vinny. So this is my I've settled into kind of my Expo style at this stage. So this is the second day of Expo. So what I did is obviously I was up late last night. I did record a video and upload it into YouTube. So I was doing my usual thing. Cool. All good. But then I sat there and thought to myself, Expo's going to start like at 10 a.m. So I should brace myself to do a good early start. So that means I stay in bed until like 11 and change. And then I casually walk down, go get myself a breakfast sandwich, get myself a cold brew coffee because I love my cold brew coffee, sit down. I actually record a preamble to my vlog here just over beside me. So I record that and then I edit it and then I do a little bit and then I finish off my coffee and then I stroll in, as you do, nice and early, like at 1:20. Because I already know what I'm going to go after. So the stuff I need it's there. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. And my deals, most of the stuff I bought was within a 20-minute window in the last hour of today's show. I didn't have to do crap. Like I'm just walking around, hanging out with folks, chatting with them and doing whatever. I will say, and I'll do more of a preview later on. I had 14 cards that I needed for the 60 Parker set. I picked up 11 today.
Yeah, I saw that on.
Like we're closing in on the end. I think tomorrow I'll finish it off. So we're almost there. So let me tell you the story of the two Medano cards because I think this is a good one. We'll have a little fun with this. So I'll show the two cards, and it is on Instagram. You guys have already seen it if you looked at the Instagram, but you'll get a chance to see it tomorrow if you haven't already. So I've actually got both of these cards. So these are both patch upgrades, and this one in particular I thought was really good. It's a piece of the star. So it's really cool. So both are patch upgrades. So what happened is. Sanderson to Orr. So Eric actually saw these, and while I was actually at, so towards the end, I came in, I was chatting with Yannick and a bunch of folks and stuff, and I said, okay, we got a little time before we're going to go to dinner. Turned out to be a good move because dinner took a while for us to get food. I said, let's get a bite to eat now just to tide us over and get us across the line. And he goes, yep, no, sounds good. So we walked over to the Timmy's just over to beside the Expo Hall and grabbed a bite. For small one, just to tide us over. But while I was there, I got a text message from Eric, and he sent a picture, and he said, do you need them? So I took a look at the picture, and I said, well, no, I don't need them. But then he said the price, and I said, okay, so is that each or for both? Now, to be clear, the price there, if it had been each, I would not have bought it, but it wasn't a ridiculous price considering what I paid for the other version, for the ones that I had. But it turned out it was the price for both. And I was like, buy them. I'll take it at that price. Like, just
Exactly.
buy the damn thing. I'll reimburse. I literally called him just to double check, and I go, so is for both? And he goes, yeah. And I go, buy them, and I will reimburse you. Just buy them.
Not having, I tried to get into the app tonight to see if they still had any virtual Expo stuff, but it looked like it was still dated from 2020.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd be nice if if they were able to put their inventory on that app and say, hey, here's what I have at the show. Glance through it, or have an IG page or something set up where Amit did a good job. He did showcase, showcase, showcase.
Yeah.
And I messaged him tonight because I saw a few cards that were interesting to me. So, and I have Carlos there. Why not? Two of them are definitely cards that I need, and one's just a nice to have. What are those warehouse fillers? Warehouse 3.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think it'll be good. But it was one of those things. It's nice to have people keeping an eye out. Like, I'm there, and even still, I have people keeping an eye out because it's like, look, for the guys that are new who have been here who are coming here for the first time, they're a kid at a candy store, to my point from earlier. But it also means they're gonna like look at everything. The problem is, like, in my jaded, dead heart at this point, it's like, guys, I don't have the energy to sit here and sift through all of this. I know some folks that I know have some stuff I want. I will try to catch a couple of things here and there, but it's like I don't have the time to sit here and sort through everything in piles. But I did catch, like I said, if somebody catches something and then I can see it, that's awesome. I did see some cool stuff that I may go back and look at tomorrow. I will probably pull out some more cash now because I did see some cool stuff. But this one was something I wasn't expecting to pick up, but the price was right. So this was the Juan Gonzalez.
I saw that. Yeah, that's nice.
Love it. So Yannick actually got a soda like this, and he was asking me about the price. And of course, being the helpful person that I am, I told him, well, here's my answer to your question. I'm paraphrasing, but basically what I said is, so at the price you're paying, if you don't buy it, I will. So that's my answer to your question about the price. So it was a good price, especially for an on-card like that with a nice acetate card, because these are all on-card. And I loved Juan Gonzalez back in the 90s. I thought he was awesome. And this was $20.
And
I'll take
that's the one that's one per box, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because the dealer that had this was the one that was setting up with my buddy who I always talk to, and actually we had dinner on the first night. So when I was chatting with him, I saw the Juan Gonzalez. I go, so what do you want to do? He goes, take it out of my hands, $20. Sure, done. Sounds good. We can do that.
I grabbed Kent Takolvi from the Pirates. It's one of the fan favorite cards. He's known for big aviator transition sunglasses and the stovepipe Pirates hat. And he just had a look to him, and he was a wicked good pitcher in the 70s. And I enjoy him. So I think I paid maybe $10 for it. But just to have an auto from him that's on card and from a product that I probably wouldn't buy for $70 a box, why not?
No, I think that's been the theme of the first couple of days, and we were chatting with a couple of different folks, and even in the course of chatting, I talked to some folks that I may eventually bring on the channel to chat about some of the stuff because we had some great conversations. And I also met Brad from PSA Canada again. We had some more chats and stuff. Like I said, we had a lot of fun with that, and we'll see if Brad's got some good stories. I think we may have a little fun with that, but we'll definitely see how that plays out. But the theme was, if you find stuff that interests you or you want, like we're surrounded by so much stuff here. Yeah, there's a lot of high-end stuff, and some of the collectors that I got a chance to talk to, they collect super high-end stuff, like really nice stuff, but they just like it. Like for them, it's like, yeah, I like it, but it just so happens they're in that tax bracket. But it's like it is what it is. They're collecting it because that's what they want, and they can afford to do so. So great.
Why
That's
not?
awesome. Yeah. So nothing wrong with that.
Was Ovechkin the great 8 there? The guy from IG?
I know that he was posting some stuff. I don't know if he was. I don't know if you know this name, but you might. I know Chili Cards is around. That's Tim, Chili Cards.
I've heard of it. I don't know if I follow them.
Okay. Well, if you get a chance, look at his IG. Amazing, amazing patches. Really amazing patches. Super high end stuff. And not a lot. I haven't had a lot of dealings with him, but he was the guy who actually gave me the heads up on the shield when I got the Medano shield. It was just very nice of him to reach out and say, hey, give me the heads up. So that was very cool. But he's got some nice stuff, man. Really nice.
Well, as soon as I go on there,
Oh yeah. That was one of the most recent. No, like that's why I say like he's at Expo, but he's actually doing work. Like he's picking up. He collects really nice stuff. Like, that's what I mean. Like, so he's worth a follow. Check it out. There's some amazing stuff on there. Vintage, new, all kinds of stuff. Really good.
Yeah, there's some. I just looked through the first 5 or 6, and it's just.
Yeah, there's monsters on there. Huge monsters, big time. So that's a good follow if any of you are interested in that kind of thing. Check out Chili Cards on Instagram. Really amazing stuff, and he displays it very nicely, and you can see it, and you get a chance to look at it. And my dealings with him have always been really good. Like he's a nice guy, and he was, like I said, he gave me a heads up out of the blue just on a card that he goes, I think this might be interesting to you. So I
And what's
appreciate that.
interesting, he only has 412 followers,
Which is a
which
shame
is,
considering the quality of the stuff he's got there. It's ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the overview, and it's
Now,
that would be.
Vinny's new project will be scrolling through Chili Card's Instagram because he's
I
got amazing stuff.
I love going through Instagram because in case there's something I forgot about,
Hmm.
I didn't know about.
Hmm.
So I forgot about the ingrained synthesis cards.
Okay.
So I put a search in my key in my eBay for it, and I put a bid. I think the shipping's $1, and I put $1 bid on something and won it. So
Hmm.
$2 for a card, just to have an example. Going back to the Archer method of collecting,
Oh man, the Archer method. There you go.
I'm a firm believer in the Archer method. If I haven't,
Patent pending. Patent pending.
yes, trademark possibly.
Mm.
Um, but having lists, I think, would be another good thing
Mhm.
when you have people attending the expo.
Mhm.
Almost, I don't know about an Excel file because on the phone,
Mhm.
it would be easy for Apple because of pages.
Yeah.
But having that list over to somebody in like a little file or a couple pictures of the top lists. Hey, if you happen to see any of these, let me know.
So I can actually offer. You're actually bringing up a really good point, and I've got two suggestions for you, depending on your ecosystem. Now they're not perfect, but you can refine them a little bit. But I got a couple of suggestions that actually play well with that. That might actually help some folks out. So let me grab a couple of these comments again. Thanks, guys. Like it's late, I know, but it's like, hey, awesome. Appreciate you putting some stuff in the chat. So that's really awesome. So bigger question: Squeal's bigger for La Bieber at the height of his power for Jeff? No, I literally sat feet from him, and like some folks saw him and like stuff, and like you can recognize him. He's there with his entourage and people with the shirts on. Like it's not that hard to figure out who he is, but it's like, whatever. I know some people were interested, but like I didn't see it, and like I've seen him like a half a dozen times. Again, I was holding court in the food court, so every time he happened by, I had to sit down for a little bit. He was around, so I saw him plenty. But he's there, but we know he's there. Is the layout different this year just due to different building? Yes. Are they trying a new layout style? Not to my knowledge. So when Steve was on the show, he said he would prefer to go back to the old hall because it's a little easier to set up. The biggest problem with the new one, I actually don't mind the setup, but I will say, and I would totally understand and agree with this, there are some folks that got kind of shoved over because, like I said, you got the big long strip, and then you got a little section there that's kind of a rectangle as well. But then there's like this pathway that the doors are like mostly closed, but there's a couple of doors open. But then it leads you to this narrow hallway that actually has dealers. But then if you keep going, there's more dealers, and then there's another room. So, like in your mind, if you're not paying attention, you could completely not realize this room is there. By the way, some of those dealers have some really good stuff. I was there today, and it's like, oh, so you've got like on-card autographs of Orr, Lemieux, Gretzky, Gordie Howe, a bunch of those, a bunch of these. Even one dude had a bunch of the old thick acetate holders, the screw downs. But they had nice like on-card autograph cards. They had quadruple autos, octo autographs and stuff. And it's like of like all name Hall of Famers and all kinds of stuff. It's like actually there's a lot of high end stuff hidden over here in the corner that is out of your way. You got to go all the way through the show, all the way around again, and then you're there.
It's sort of like those stories from Dallas on the side rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And at the National, I guess there was a back room
Mm-hmm.
where newer dealers that weren't established set up. So you never know what you're going to find unless you go through everything. I think I would probably have a more enjoyable time at the Expo versus the National due to the hockey content
Yeah, sure.
that's there.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
even though I collect all the sports, I would probably find it more interesting to go to the Expo and see things that are on the checklist and just be like,
Mhm.
it's there, and just be handing money out left and right. And that's sort of my plan is get the biggest chunk. I've had two Lemieux collectors post a lot of good stuff. I hit
Yeah.
the vein as you did last Q4 of 2020 into the beginning of 2021, as Dave had 2 months ago.
Mhm.
Well, I hit a nice solid vein for about 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And I picked up some goodies that I have to show on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, but it'll be coming up once I get things organized a bit. I'm in set building mode right now. I'm putting all my cards and pages, and I just got 3 binders from Amazon today and another set of pages. So thank you, better half.
Nice, nice. So I'll get caught up on a couple of comments, but I want to grab this one really quick. So Yannick, this is important. And I need you to listen to me, buddy. If you can still hear me, this is really important. I need you to hear it. Sleep is for the weak. Going to the expo in the early part in the morning, that's for peasants and commoners. You should know this by now. He's going to be up in the morning because he's got to go see Bret Hart. They're doing the signing. He's doing the signing early, so he's got to go see Bret Hart. I was like, oh, no, good for you. I'll roll sand at the crack of noon or a little later, as I do. Like I don't have that issue. I can waltz in casually in my time. I got time. I like Ozzy Cardad's comment. You know what the better part is, Ozzy Cardad? What if you've got kids that are older than you, old enough to check out card searches? There you go.
I send C out all the time. I'm like, here, sit next to me. I got this box. You got this box. This is what I'm hunting for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good in general. If you got some folks that do know what you collect, like jokes aside, it is good to have another set of eyes. And like I said, for me, it's honestly more than anything. And I think I would classify it this way. This would be the way I would explain it. I'm content with my collection. I don't mind adding more stuff. It's still fun for me to add more stuff, but I don't need more stuff. If I don't add any more, I have a really nice collection already. But if I see something like if it's something cool, if it's a patch upgrade or something like that, stuff like this just makes it fun. Like this is just to add a little. It's to add spice. I don't need another copy of this. The other copy, honestly, is going to go on eBay because I'll let somebody else have it, but I'll keep the nicer patch. For me, I'm okay. Great, cool. This one I got basically a napkin patch originally. This is kind of cool. This is nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's the patch I got today came in one of those old holders. It's not a screw down, but I've never seen it before. It has indentations. It's very odd, but it had a Pacific card from I think 0102. And what I like about it is when you flip it on the back, it says this jersey that's cut up on this card was from this season. And it just happens to be the one that he scored 168 points. I think it's 88, 89.
Okay.
Before he did the 199 points. So I think it's his second highest total year. So I thought that was cool. Okay. Even though the patch is very odd, when you see it, It almost looks like vinyl.
Mhm.
The gold looks like vinyl, so it's kind of odd. But I've never seen the card before. It went on auction 3 times. No one bought it, and then he offered the card to me on a deal, and I said, if no one's buying it and you're giving me a deal, why not?
Okay.
So I grabbed it, but the card holder was interesting. Very, it's one of those things that you don't see. I don't know if it's old, new, but it's not your typical mag that we see with so many things today. I'm still a top loader guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then the graded cards in a baggie of some sort.
Well, actually, since you bring up the graded stuff, just for the record, I've been very disappointed in the lack of Pelican cases. I'm devastated. My goal actually was to buy no cards and just buy a Pelican case. That's really all I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, what would Dave do in this situation? Well, he'd hashtag invest. He'd buy a Pelican case, and then Zion to the moon. That seemed like what Dave would do.
Probably the polar opposite, but okay.
No, I think that's what Dave would do. I don't care what he tells you. Don't listen to his lies. Look, you can't trust a man who just randomly goes on a 30-minute tirade where all he's talking about is he just names every band he can think of for 30 consecutive minutes. How can you trust this man?
I was right there with him, so how can you trust me?
Well, you were watching him. You weren't like actually doing anything other than just like, yes, he's naming bands. If I go to Google and go bands that begin in A, and then bands that begin in B, bands
I
that begin in
was
C.
I was actually scrolling through my Apple iTunes and going through it. And when he missed one, I'm like, how about this?
Yeah,
And then I had
exactly.
the better half sitting on the couch yelling out band names. I'm like, this is turned to odd, but it's sort of like you say, how much time can you talk about cards when you're on hour 3? And
Yeah.
it's it was a fun episode to have something different because it's something I do when I sort cards. I'll throw the music on, and you forget about some bands. So
No, I think so. To be clear, I don't have an issue with the music genre as part of a discussion or as being a big chunk of discussion. The part that I was staring at is I just kept staring at it. I go, so you're naming these bands. Would you like to talk about what they did? Do you want to talk about maybe when you saw like
Shaw,
could you add a little bit to that? Would you like to flesh it out a little more about
if you
these
don't,
bands?
as they say, if you know, you know.
I can also look up Google. Yes. But yeah, fair enough. At the end of the day, it is what makes the people happy, so it's all good. So yeah, Paul admits to buying something just to see what they look like. Yeah, no, I agree. So hockey guy here, and good evening. I have or early morning or whatever the case may be for you. Meat looking for stuff for me. Doubt he'll have much time to look through. Yeah, well, he's been busy, and I know he's been posting stuff on social media and stuff. So like he's been doing it. Sounds like they need better signage. I would agree. Although, to be honest, a lot of folks are really. I understand folks not having the energy to walk. I will say this: when I got there today, well, yesterday, and I was walking through, and this was a little after 1, so it was kind of the busier time of the day. A lot of the folks had crowded in. If you're not used to the expo, it's very intimidating. It's overwhelming. Yannick actually needed to take a breather around the same time that I came in because it was just too much. It's so many people in that space and stuff, and it's like, okay, I need, let me step away a bit. And then he came back a little later, and it chilled out a little bit. But if you're not used to it, you basically have to be like Barry Sanders in his prime. You have to understand how to stop on a dime, turn, and bypass, and just to get up and down the aisles. The only reason I didn't record when I initially came in, I had the camera and everything, but I'm sitting there like, this is a massive humanity. I know how to get around it, but I have to be able to focus on like jetting left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down.
So it sounds like the attendance was up from previous years. Would
I
you
would
say on the
say
Friday?
so. Here's what I would say. Yes, but I think what's made it interesting, and this is what's throwing a bunch of us off. I actually quoted folks some wrong times only because when I was sitting there doing it, is that we're used to Friday being the first day. So, like psychologically, in my brain, I kept thinking it was Saturday. So like because I'm used to the second day of Expo being Saturday, which is the busiest days. Um, but Thursday, obviously they had the VIP night and some business was transacted and some moves happened. You know, some making moves. Hashtag making moves. But not like crazy because it's the VIP folks and so it's a lesser crowd. So deals were made, but at the same time, like you could have, let's put it this way, given the way this show worked out, if you wanted to do have the most room to maneuver, the easiest time, the best selection, everything all together, Thursday would have been perfect for you because you could have gone to a lot of tables and had very little problem striking up a conversation, figuring out some stuff, maybe taking your time, walking through the deal a little bit and figuring it out. And you would have had a very easy time on Thursday because there were people around, a fair number. But you could go up and down the aisles with impunity. It would have been no problem. Saturday, up until like the later part of the afternoon, as time went on, it thinned out a little bit and you had some more space to maneuver. But there was a period there between 1 and maybe like 3 or 4 where it was like super busy. So what I did, but this is a veteran move, right? Since I know this, if I'm not urgent and I'm not in a hurry and I don't want to deal with people in front of me and I'm trying to look over a showcase or do all that nonsense, that's where I went to the food court and chilled out because I knew people would come by and just hang out and we'd just sit there and chat and just shoot the breeze for a while, kill some time, and then eventually, yeah, let's go walk over to this thing now that it's quieted down just a little bit. But we were just hanging out there. And, oh, actually, I almost forgot. I'll give you a little story about the Thursday as well. So the way Steve Menzie did the little gift bag, inside you had some Ultra Pro stuff, some top loaders, some regular stuff, some coupons for some things, well, usual kind of stuff, and a little eBay bag and stuff, whatever. But one of the things he had was a little green strip. It was like one of these bands, but it was like a big red one. Sorry. So it was a red strip. You didn't wear it. But what happened is you could redeem it for a drink at the food court. So they had the little thing and they had these little cans of like Stella and they were okay. That was fine. But I was like, okay, fine. If that's what you got, that's what you got. I looked at some of the other options. I was not impressed. But the Stella was fine. It's like, oh, great. So I went and handed it in and said it. But then as people were just walking around, if you were sitting there in the food court just chilling, which I was doing with Bobby and Eric and some folks, people would come by and go, hey, do you guys want this? I ended up with 3 of those strips. I ended up having about 3 or 4 free drinks on just the little bands before we ever got to the pub. So that was kind of fun. So
Take what you can get.
yeah, well, it's free. I'm not complaining about that.
How close to the airport is the venue?
Super close. The airport is basically across the street.
So, ooh, that would be nice for me since probably, I don't know about the first time I attend. I might, the better half of stable will just fly in for the weekend. And if you're close, an Uber or a taxi, or if it's in walking distance, it's almost go to the venue, stay at the venue, or super close, and then take an empty suitcase.
So one part of that is 100% true. It is super close. It is a very short commute. If you hop in a car or whatever, it's like a 5, less than 10-minute move over. And what happens is, and I only have one screen, guys, but I'm going to give this a try. Let me see if I can do this. I can tell you definitively that the fact is that you can actually, once you're in a certain cluster, all the hotels are in a cluster. Not all, but like a good chunk of the ones that a lot of us stay at are in a cluster. And a lot of the restaurants that we end up eating at are in the same cluster. So it's like you've got this segment here with the hotels and restaurants all together within super walking distance. Everything's super close. And then you got to move a little bit. Then you got the airport. And then the international center is like basically beside it. So what happens is, yeah, you get off the plane, but then you go to your hotel. But then once you're at the hotel, yes, you can do a hike. Yannick actually, I think, decided to do the walk. It's about a 4-kilometer walk. So it took him about 40 minutes. So if you want to walk, yes, you can, technically. Now, 4 kilometers in a car is minutes. Walking, 40 minutes. So there is a bit of a difference. It's a bit of a hike if you're just going to walk. So I'll see if I can actually give you a little bit of a context for scale. But now, mind you, once again, when the day's over, and you're going to a hotel, restaurant, so you can go to your hotel, drop off your stuff, do whatever. Oh, we'll meet at the restaurant. Cool. You mean the one that's across the street? Or the one that's just down the street? Or the one that's on the other side down the street? Oh, and my hotel's right there?
Like, so did you rent a car or?
I take a taxi. I just
Okay.
go down to the desk and I just say, hey, can you grab me a taxi? Yep, no problem.
Oh, see, that's convenient.
Yeah, just jet over. I literally walk up to the front desk and I go, hey, could you do me a favor and book me a taxi? Yep, 10 minutes. I'll be right there at the front. No problem.
How's the conversion for? Here's another good question.
Sure.
How's the conversion for money? So,
One and a
coming
quarter,
from,
give or take.
well, I mean, do they accept U.S. dollars
Oh, yeah.
or? See
Now,
that?
you're going to get probably a favorable rate for the dealer if you do that. But yes, plenty of the dealers will accept that. Yes.
Yeah, I was always curious about. So, if I brought X amount of money cash,
Mhm.
what should I convert? Because if I have U.S. dollars, will they take that, and how easy for them to convert it to Canadian money?
Pretty straightforward. Here's what I would say. Yes, you can. If you're very good with the negotiation side of thing, you might be able to make that work for you very well. If you can get them to agree to a good conversion. Most of the time, it's easier just to have some Canadian cash because then you can just play in the realm because it's going to be so much easier to get your hands on Canadian cash both ways. Like it's just going to be easier. I know that Eric had some challenges in terms of now. To be clear, you may be well served having your Canadian cash in advance or soon after you come over, because if your bank isn't set up in a simple way to make it easy for you to extract cash, it could get a little complicated. And it works both ways. Like when I go down to States, and it's been a while since I've done it, but when I've done it, I always buy my Canadian cash ahead of American cash ahead of time. That way I've got it. But I also worked at the bank, so it was easy for me to go in. And now, mind you, one trick that worked for us, and this is not for everybody. If you travel more frequently, this may be helpful to you. So when I was at the bank, we had the option to open up a U.S. based account because the bank also has a U.S. branch, but treat them as almost two different entities. Yes, they do talk to each other. They speak a similar dialect. They don't speak the same language. They're operating because what happens is when I did that, they would open an account for me. They'd open a US checking account. It's expressly a US checking account. Yes, I can transfer back and forth, so they got a mechanism for me to do that. But I got a US debit card and a US credit card. They're two different universes. My credit cards will work on both sides, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, whatever. But if you're using that one, then you're operating inside of US dollars, working with US dollars. It's more simple, it's more straightforward.
So you have two debit cards essentially.
Correct. Yeah. And so
Makes
you treat
sense.
them as two separate things. And then when you go to the appropriate ATM in the right country, you grab the right card for the situation, your life is easier.
Yep.
If you're going to play it the other way, then you got to see how accommodating the bank happens to be.
It was my trips to Canada were mostly paid for on credit card because it
Sure. Yeah.
was easy. But coming to the Expo, as we've always said, cash is king.
It is. Yeah. What I will say is also, now again, this won't help you if you're coming from the States. I know dealers that'll accept PayPal. I know dealers that'll accept Venmo. If you're inside of Canada, we have Interact Direct Payment. So like some of the dealers that I've known for a long time, they will take Interact Direct Payment, which is to say I'll push a couple of buttons, and when I push a couple of buttons on here, I can send you a quick email that you push a button here, it puts the money straight in your checking account within about 30 seconds.
That's
And if I
convenient.
know you and you know me and it's no problem, you'll just accept it. Oh, it's in my account. Yep, deal's done. Take the card. Goodbye. You're good to go. So like total, and for them it's no fee, and for me it's no fee. Awesome. Good times. Look, so you've got options. However, cash is the simplest and quickest and most straightforward, and you're going to have the least amount of extra hassles or discussion.
Yeah.
That's just always the way it is.
It's good to know these things when you're preparing. Now, I don't know if I'll be there in 2022. Might be there in 2023. I'm
Sure.
not sure.
Yeah.
But it all depends on what the schedule looks like. But my goal is to end up there sooner than later.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So
Getting
let me touch on this
crypto?
one here. This was a legit. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'll hit the comments quickly. So thanks, by the way, joining, guys. How odorific is the episode so far? So it hasn't been too bad for me, but quick caveat. I came a little bit later. I didn't come at the absolute peak apex. Now, mind you, it was super busy when I got in, but I also went in a beeline directly towards kind of like I said, I looked at how busy it was. So I said, okay, I'm not going to hang around here where a bunch of people are congregating because I just want to make my life easier. So I go over to the food court and message a couple folks that I knew were around because I'm just going to sit here and chat for a while. We're going to hang out. Mind you, if I was being more aggressive and really wanted to chase after certain cards specifically, then yeah, you're going to have to go to the tables. And I promise you, there's going to be a lot of that. I can guarantee it. It was okay for me because by the time we ventured back out and we were done talking, we spent a good time chatting. The crowds had thinned out a little bit. So then it wasn't so bad. So we didn't really encounter too many issues with that, but it's because we didn't go in the mass of people and just hang out there for a while. We kind of waited until, yeah, let the red seats part a little bit and then you're okay. It's not so bad. Yep, elbows out in crowds. That's exactly right. Buy stuff somewhat frequently to see what it looks like. That's fair. Totally with you. So here's Ed's comment. Yep. So no soda finds for me today. Although I was talking to Canadian Cards, and actually he asked me about a soda card, and I was giving him a little bit of counsel on that. I have my eyes open. It's funny because some of the nicer soda cards I've seen are ones in my box. I have them. I did bring some along just in case if I could do a deal, maybe trade up into one if I saw something cool. I'm not in a hurry to trade anything. I've definitely seen some interesting stuff. I would say Yannick picked up a nice Juan Soto on card autograph. It was very cool. So I thought that was nice. And yeah, he basically pitched it to me, and I said to him, "Well, if you don't want it, I'll buy it." So he ended up buying it, and he got a good price on it. He did very well. Funny enough, I'll see if it'll work for me. I don't know. I hate having. I'll tell you, Vinny. One thing that threw me off, and I forgot. This is my bad. I found out that the way this Mac works, I can actually use an iPad as a second screen. I found out it's got a feature to do that, which is really cool. The second screen thing makes this all easier, but I forgot the iPad at home. And I was like, oh man, this sucks. But I wasn't sure if I was going to do a live stream anyway, but it would have been very easy just to have a second screen and be able to do that, which is always really handy at home. But I will say this to you, Ed. If you want to get technical, I did find a Juan Soto on Friday on eBay. I did it while I was still at home, while I was still at the hotel, finishing off my coffee and everything. I did an offer. They did a counter offer, and I ended up agreeing to it. But I was actually pretty happy with it. It came up in one of my searches. We'll see if I can show it, see if it'll work for me. So now we're gonna test and see how good this hotel Wi-Fi really is, Vinny. Are you ready for the challenge? Here it is. It's coming. See if this works. Hate having it all on one screen, but let's see if I can make this work. Why not? Okay, so share. Can I do it? Yep. Let's see. Can I make this work? Okay, so let's try that. Should be good. Okay, cool. Okay, window, Chrome tab. There we go. Okay, let's see if this works. There you go. Sort of works. Let's see, can I make it a little better? Yeah, it's a little bit small, but anyway. So that's from Spectra. That's actually a gold one. So it worked out. So I was like, that's the gold Spectra out of 10. And I was like, nice, nice, nice. So there you go. So hopefully you can see that okay. It looks all right on here. It's a little small, but it's okay. But anyway, long story short, I saw it on the searches, and then I saw it and I thought the price was fair, and I was like, oh, sweet. I'll take it. I'll take that. Why not? Here we go. What's the coolest thing you saw today? Not necessarily most valuable. Also, your Delgado pickups, none of them were diffractors. Okay. Oh, like atomics. Okay, cool. That's fair. I think the price is cool. That's not bad. Coolest thing I saw today. I definitely saw some really nice memorabilia. I'll say I saw some gamers. I will say probably, and I'll be honest, and here's funny, probably some of the most interesting stuff I saw. Some of it was at the dinner I was at because I think they had some Connor McDavid patches and stuff, some really good stuff from the Cup and things like that. That was really cool. So I got to see that in person. I'll say this. So maybe the coolest thing, maybe this will be what I'll pick. There was a dealer that was over in the side, kind of out of the way from everybody. And I mentioned it kind of to Vinny as well. They had the missing link sets. When Parkhurst first came back, and Dr. Price had the license to do it, he was commissioned to do some retro sets, and he did 2 missing link sets, which is to say that I think this is like 94 or 93. thereabouts. So mid 90s basically. And what they did as part of it is they included on card pack inserted autographs. And for some of those legendary guys, that's the first or one of the earliest on card in pack autographs. So like Gordie Howe and Maurice Richard and stuff like that. And there was a dealer who had a ton of them from those sets. And that was really cool. Now some of them were even in the thick lucite like brick screw downs, but they had some really clean copies and I thought some fair prices, and they had the tall boy ones as well. And I thought those were really neat. The ones that were the 64 Parkhurst that didn't exist. Those are pretty cool. I thought that was really cool for me. I think you're muted, Vinny. I can't hear you.
I was.
There you go.
I think I have a Maurice Richard that I pulled from that, and holy crap, I think that is an actual autograph.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you flip it on the back, it says so. And it also has like a little number thing on the bottom.
Sometimes you don't pay attention when you get something like that in a pack that you busted in 2017.
Sure.
And you forget that back in 93, 94, you were chasing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
because they weren't easy to pull. They were not easy to pull. They were actually pretty tough. They were numbered, like they had a little numbering on the back, but a lot of times it was hand numbered. So they got like the slash and they have the number there. And they'd have a person actually write out the numbers. So it's hand numbered stuff. But very cool. And
that's
like
big fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the checklists of a lot of these guys, that's one of the earliest autographs for a lot of them, like Gordie Howe, Maurice, and all those guys. Like, they had more autographs later, but like if you want like the OG kind of autographs for them, like real on card, good stuff, quality, and a nice clean design that shows off the autograph nicely, that's a real good one. And some of them are still fairly affordable. Like they're not that bad. I think I want to say that Canadian cards, and he can show it off when he gets a chance. I think it was the Boom Boom Jeffrey he bought, and I think it was like $60.
It's not
I
bad.
thought very fair. I thought very fair.
Very fair.
Yeah, and I thought he did very well, and we saw some cool stuff. I saw a couple that I was like, maybe if it's still there tomorrow, I might think about it. Like there's some good stuff in there.
In preparing to message and meet, I was looking at the exchange rate, and I'm like, his prices to me are so fair when it comes to Canadian versus American dollar.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So it's even more advantageous for me. Mm-hmm. And the price that I see that he has is even without being Monty Hall and let's make a deal on the 3. Mm-hmm. It's still solid. If he says, nah, that's my price. To me, it's still solid for all 3 of them.
Nice.
So
okay,
he's probably sleeping right now. Amit, wake up. Check your Instagram.
Well, I've heard rumors, and Vinny, I don't know. Maybe you can confirm this for me. I've heard that people occasionally sleep. I don't know what this thing is. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me. That's odd. Just weird. So Vinny looks a little frozen. Oh, there you go. Now I can see you.
Yeah. Ghost is actually sleeping right now.
Look at you.
On the floor. The baby dog is sleeping on the better half's feet.
Okay.
And Dryden is on the couch.
Nice.
Being Vinny and saying, I just want to be left alone.
Well played.
But 1:36 at night is not late for me.
Yeah, for better or worse, that's the reason why it's so much fun. Like I was chatting with a couple of the guys, and they were like, "So like, how do you?" Because Eric was asking the same question. Like, how do you do this? Like, dude, I'm a night owl. Like this, I was recording that YouTube video pickup thing at around this time. So like that's before I uploaded. That's before I edited it and put it together and then uploaded.
Yeah,
it was slow internet, so I had to wait.
I used to talk before I moved to Michigan. You talked to the better half who work late, get the girls all set, and I'd talk to her like till 11:30. I'd be up till 1, 2, wake up at 5:30, and be out the door at 6 to be at work at 6:30 because I always start an hour and a half before everybody else.
Right.
So 3-4 hours of sleep. Grand you, I was in my 20s at the time, and I need about 5 solid hours now, and I'm pretty good.
Okay. No, I think that's reasonable. I think it's fair. I'll be honest. I actually had a pretty good night's sleep last night because, again, I wasn't in a hurry to get up. I put it a reasonable wake up time to give myself my goal. My goal in life at this point, when it comes to the show, is I'm not in a hurry. I don't need to be there at the opening, and because that's the case, I had a wonderful late morning, early afternoon, eating my brunch, having my coffee, relaxing. I even did, like I said, I did a little recording just to have it for part of the vlog, and I'll do another one tomorrow. But I'm like, why am I in a hurry? Let me just casually, calmly get my food, get ready, and then I'll get out the door. It's fine.
I think for me, it would be I want to be there when the door is open,
Sure.
sort of like when I go to the First National. But like all my local shows, I've gone first thing in the morning, and they're barely set up when the door is open. So it's advantageous for me to stroll in about 2 hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
The signers aren't there yet because at the one hall they have a stage, and that's where the signer goes, and then they usually put a line outside the hall, and it doesn't affect the main area, so they don't get congested. But if I can go through there and I know the layout, boom, 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 hit everything an hour. If I'm not looking for set cards, I could be in and out of there, have supplies an hour tops. So it's probably 100 or so tables.
Yeah, I think it depends on the show. I'll be honest with the way they set this up. If you go during one of the busier days, it's not even that whether you know what you're going. It's not. I know exactly where I'm going. I know where the dealers are that I deal with all the time. But even then, just getting around people takes time. It's like you could go like a bull like a china shop and just try to run through everybody. Like that's a process you could try, but there's only so much you can do. So quickly, I'll read a couple of these here. What player seems to be in all showcases? So it's going to be very hockey heavy, Ed. Connor McDavid, Wayne Gretzky, Steve Yzerman, Barry Lemieux. In almost every showcase in here, you're going to find it. There are some that are definitely putting in some basketball. There's definitely been a little more baseball. So my homie and yours, Juan Soto's definitely been on there. I've seen him. Some of the prices are okay. Some of the prices are not bad. Some of the prices are like, no, that's not happening. Good luck with that. And of course, Ovechkin, Crosby, like pick the guys at the top of the food chain as far as the guys you'd expect. They're on every showcase that has modern or even decent. Now you go vintage, you're gonna get the Gordie Howe's, you're gonna get the Maurice Richards. Pick the big guys. They're on every single table that has that category every time, guaranteed. Yep, absolutely. 9 out of 10. Yep, out of 10. Yeah, it's a good one. Once I get it in, I'll show it in a nice video. It looks good. I like the Spectra. I think it's a cool product, and I think when it's got like to me, I'm right now becoming the king of the gold Sotos out of 10. Is like, dude, I'll take it. I love them. Have the folks been respectful? I liked Ozzy Cardet's question, so I wanted to grab it. Has folks been respectful in terms of cameras and doing their YouTube stuff? So far, yes. Now, in what I've seen so far, Jeff has been kind of doing his thing. He's got his camera guy. I've seen a couple of guys with cameras walking around filming some B-roll in some of the areas for some of the displays and stuff. So far, so good. I haven't seen any craziness. Tomorrow will be the tail because traditionally, Saturday is the busiest day. That's usually the busiest. Now, on a 4-day show, will that be true? Probably, because I know some folks are going to wind it down on Sunday. Some folks are not going to go. Some folks are going to try to pack up early. I know this, but Saturday's usually that's where they'll stick the best signers, the biggest names and stuff, and the ones that they really want to market and sell. They'll throw it in on the Saturday show, Saturday day at the Expo. Yeah, just talking about the missing link set. Yep. Sorry if this has been asked already, but how is the slab breakdown in the showcases? PSA, SGC, BGS. I've seen all but HGA. I haven't seen an HGA yet. I've definitely seen CSG. I've seen a reasonable number of BGS. PSA, of course, is king. I've seen some SGC. I would say really still to me strongly PSA. BGS, like if you're talking basketball, you're definitely seeing a lot of BGS. In hockey, it's there. I don't think it's as crazy. I would say one of the guys in the corner who did have some baseball and some soda and stuff. He definitely had some BGS. He had some like 9.5s and stuff like that with subgrades. So there's definitely a little bit of that for sure. I'll try to do a better job tomorrow, and if I go and am able to pan around, I'll try to capture some showcases to give you a taste of kind of the configuration of some of them. Not everybody, but I'll try to get a couple of them. Actually, I didn't bother to send it. I'll probably send it tomorrow or later tonight. There was a guy who had a bunch of wax stuff, different categories, expensive stuff, but he had an entire showcase of Magic the Gathering wax boxes.
Nice.
So I took a picture of that for the old hockey oracle. I figured he would appreciate it. So, but I thought it was interesting. They had some of the classic stuff, and I was like, hey, there you go. That's all right. Sorry, here we go. First autograph puck was Mauricio Chard in the pack. Rapid Redemption's missing link. Yep, yep. Mike and Car is hilarious in person. Yeah, no, we had a good time. We had some fun. Whole challenge is usually murder. I agree with that. This one's been holding up okay though. I've been impressed. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, it has been.
I had low expectations, so like I'll take it. Bigger shows can really run you down. Wear those Fitbits, you'll be amazed how many steps and miles you take a day. The one day Expo had 20,000 steps. You were 100% right. However, Ed, let me share with you a caveat. This is the secret. If you're Carlos and you don't actually give a shit and you're quite content sitting at the food court just chilling, guess what? I put in my good 20 steps a day. Let me tell you, bro, I just needed to get to the food court and sit down and chill. Like, I don't care. Oh, you got a card show? Good for you. It'll come to me. Let them send me messages when there's something good. Oh, yeah, buy that. I don't need to go get it myself like a commoner, Vinny. Like, what am I, an animal? Send the people.
Yeah, the Jeff Wilson video will be the invasion video for the others when they see it. Sports Card Taxi will be up there. They'll be taxiing around everything for you.
Yeah. You got people for that. Vinny, it's nice to have people. Get some people. Let the
Actually,
people do the thing.
It's an ingenious idea to have an app that says this is what's at the card show. If you're a dealer and you can't walk around, you know, like my local card show sets up on Friday and it's from like noon to 6. I'm like, it's working hours. You don't usually get that. I think is mainly for all the dealers to go back and forth. Then on Saturday, that's when the Pelican boys show up.
Okay.
And the people with their significant others, usually the significant others saying, when the heck are you going to sell anything to make up? Because I've noticed one thing, retail that was bought at your local friends at Walmart and Target are not moving like they used to be. They're sitting there. And what these guys have to realize, they're going to end up taking an L. They're going to have to sell it at way reduced prices to actually move it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true.
It's becoming, because Target.com, go on there and you can almost get, they had metal blasters for $29.99, which is MSRP. They were on there for 5.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get retail metal blasters for 5.5 weeks, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's ample time for you to make a move. Now, they have not put on, I'm trying to think of what, Allure. I have not seen Allure blasters on there. What I also want to see is if they're going to put OPG Platinum, because OPG Platinum have exclusive Walmart inserts, and they have exclusive Target inserts. Much like your Prism of old, 1314, you had your red for Target and blue for Walmart. So, and very different setup this year for OPG Platinum. I watched a couple breaks. So, and the price point isn't too bad at 120 US a box.
Okay.
And the prices for metal are starting to come down. So pre-buy.
Yeah, to be honest, as they should. There are some good cards and some good pulls, But it's like for the secondary market, it was, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. But I didn't really think it was gonna be the case.
I saw pre-buy. I think the better half paid 200 a box.
Hmm.
So that was the pre-sale in 2019. So that was my Christmas present. No, 2020. So that was last year's Christmas present. I got them in August, I think it was. Yeah,
Okay.
August.
Yep.
So that's when they were finally released. And then they went up to about 3. Now I've seen them for 269. So I'm wondering if this second wave by Black Friday, if they're back at 200 a box. And even the better half said at 200 a box. And things, much to your video a couple days ago
Hmm.
about wax, if things haven't been pulled, why not put another box of that away, or keep one box and now you can open 2 and see what you can pull out.
Yeah. I think there's going to be an element of, like I said, there's always going to be the gambling element. At a certain point, just the value of the box will just be based on what's still out there. That's always going to be a thing. But like I said, some of this stuff. Look, let's put it this way. I'll give you a quick example. I'm going to read a couple of these comments because there's some good questions here, and I want to answer them. Long story short, Upper Deck, because a lot of the Upper Deck folks from the U.S. couldn't come over, they asked the folks from Grosvenor and a couple of the distributors to run the pack redemption for them. But what's been a real killer for them specifically, like I said, today was very well attended. I honestly, when it was super busy, it looked super busy. That's the reason why I took my turn to chill. Like that was my opportunity. When it's super busy like that, yeah, you can fight through the crowds if you want to. Like it's up to you. Like it's, but I was like, no, the stuff I need, like it's going to be there for me. Like I don't, it'll be this will still be there when they've cleared out a little bit, and we had time. Like honestly, we had time. So I was like, okay, great. But when I was waiting for the crowds to dissipate a little bit, one of the things that you discover as you're going along with it is that the breaker area wasn't going as crazy because Series 1 was delayed. Normally we have Series 1 in November. That's a big one. Like that's huge for them.
Yep.
Normal in this year, if everything had gone according to plan originally, the AEW product was going to get introduced right around this show. Now, some people may care about wrestling, some people may not, but it's still a new product. It's still a new IP. They probably would have done Pack of Redemption around it. Like that would have been part of it too. So they still had it, but what they had to do is they had to do UD Extended. UD Extended kind of sucks.
Some of the inserts aren't bad.
Sure, sure. But my point is like, you really are going to have to put something nice in those packs to make someone care about UD Extended if they do not. If they don't care about it, then you're not going to sell them on it. Not that ain't going to do it.
Rookie crop wise, it was
It's not there.
last year's rookie crop with Creel and Stutzla. Yeah, I'm taking my chances to get their rookies in metal for what I picked up. What I was looking forward to is Series 1, Zagras, Caulfield. Those 2 guys I've watched. I enjoy watching them already when they played in juniors. Now it's delayed. Now Caulfield's down in the minors. Is the hype for him going to be died down? Zagras, I don't know what he's doing so far this year because I haven't really looked at the Ducks and what they've done. So is this going to be a very quiet Series 1 release because the rookies are kind of quiet right now?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's going to happen in December? Because they said December for Series 1 and then retail in January timeframe. So that should be interesting.
Yeah. I think it also helps, but so here downside is obviously like this would have been a great launch for them because traditionally Expo, again, first Expo in 2 years, like this would have been a great launch off for them. I promise they would have done well on the Pack of Redemption. They would have sold through cases of that stuff. Actually, I missed out. I didn't get a chance to. I got to take a picture of it in one of the booths. They had cases of junk wax, like 88 score and crap, for a couple of $100 a case. It's a case, and I was sitting there like, hilarious, too expensive for what it is, but hilarious. And I love that they just had cases strewn across the floor of the table. And I was like, really, guys, This is what you're going to try to sell people on. Bless you for this.
I would like to come there just for the Pacific stuff to see what's left there of that. Because if I look at what I'm a wax guy, I like wax. I like old wax. Some of the Pacific stuff I would love to get my hands on that is not available as much in the States. Vanguard, Adrenaline. When Adrenaline was about $20 a box, I probably bought 4 or 5 boxes and ripped them all. So I probably could make a set 2 times over.
I got to take a look at that because I did see some boxes of that. I think you might be a little disappointed. Now, I got to look at some of the other dealers. I know Grizzly Sports Cars is one of the ones who traditionally I used to go to for boxes and stuff. They had 2000 Omega for like 95.
Yeah,
which is obscene. Like there's nothing really that good in Omega of like a regular box that you can't be close to 100 on. It's Omega.
They have Adrenaline for 75 Canadian.
Is that what it is now? Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm watching. I keep my eye on these things. So about 4 months ago, the Pacific stuff for some of these guys, they wanted Quest for the Cup was $90, $100. You know, private stock titanium's one thing with what you could pull patch wise, auto wise. But these other things were like near 100 a box. And I'm like, really? And now they're dropping 75 a box. 2 months from now, maybe 50 a box. We can't sell these things.
This is for which product, sorry?
Anything Pacific. Quest for the Cup.
Vinny Grizzly only goes up. They don't go down.
Well, there's other
No, I'm with you. I want that's why I say I want to do a comparison. I specifically went by that one just to see what they were doing because I knew they had some. I was curious. And since you mentioned it, I happened upon that section of the little area that I was walking by, and I've noticed they've been slowly jacking up their prices. The one that was my favorite though was 0506 Fleer Ultra, which is a set I liked. I bought a couple of boxes of the retail from them 2 years ago for $50 a box.
Yeah, they're $220 now.
They are. They're $275 in Canadian, but yes, at the show they were $275.
Yeah, it's your cheap man's way of not going the upper deck route for the Ovechkin Crosby rookies.
Yeah, but those have also gone up a lot because I bought the Ovechkin rookie for $50 2 years ago. At my buddy's table, he had it at $350. And I don't think he's out of whack. I don't think he's far out of line. Like some of them are starting to creep up into the, and it's like, I guess the one that's been sitting on my table for 2 years that I've just had it on my desk, slowly gone up in value.
Probably what I'm looking at right now, if I wanted to go Crosby Ovechkin, the cheap man route, I'd probably go Victor, your MVP.
You could, yeah.
The
Beehive?
Beehive.
You could. They got one.
True. Now, I don't think they had 0506 Fleer Showcase. I believe that was 0607. So 0607, you can get some Anze Kopitar, Malkin, those guys in a beautiful showcase card. Chris Letang. Then there is not only the base card, there was a redemption card rookie for those guys. So if you want to get a little rarer, you can go that route, which I have. But I digress. But that's another product that's seen a huge spike. Not so much the showcase that don't have them, but anything with a jambalaya or a PMG.
Yeah, well, that one I'm less shocked by. That one does not shock me because obviously they've picked up a lot. I get that. So let me grab a couple of these, but I'll touch on one thing that you mentioned as well because I think it's a good point. So real quick, Pelican Boys is basically just the kids that ran around with the Pelicans, and that's kind of what Ed is kind of alluding to here. I want to get caught up on a couple of these. Did you overhear an asinine comments from the Pelican Boys? So Ed, two things. It goes back to what I said earlier. Carlos can go to a card show and not give a shit what anybody does. Someone could light themselves on fire in front of me and I wouldn't notice it. I don't care.
True.
I was having a little fun with Yannick because he was like, well, I don't know. It's like, I'm not sure if I saw anything in the Team Schmedium. It's like, guys, let me share with you a little story. The Team Schmedium thing has been going on since ever. You just are paying attention to it now. It's always been there. Guys who don't know what size shirt to wear, guess what? That's been going on the show since the 90s. That ain't new. So it's like, that's sort of like we don't give a shit.
We just define them now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point. That's all I'm trying to get across. That's the point. Is it's like, look, y'all are paying attention to it. I don't care. I don't care what y'all do. Light yourselves on fire. I will walk by the flames and go to what I'm going. I'm going to go from point A to point B where I want to go. That's how I operate at a card show. But that's me. Have you heard of any impromptu trade nights? Not yet. I know they've got a sanctioned one on Saturday. So on Saturday, they've definitely got one that they've got at one of the hotels. It's been RSVP, but I've been keeping an eye on social media. I've been curious if anybody tried to set one up. I don't think it would fly here. The hotel would literally call the cops on you. Like as soon as you try that, like get out. Are you staying here? Which room are you in? Get out. It won't fly that way. They will call the cops on you and like get out of here. But the one that's been set up where they've rented the space or whatever, like they've set it up, yeah, for sure. But that one I know is on Saturday. That one's definitely happened. So bless and breaks. I want to get this comment here. I think it's a combination of, yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but honestly, this chair is extraordinarily uncomfortable. And the way I have to do it is I've got the desk here in the hotel, and I actually have to lean forward in it. If you ever see me on the live stream, I'm always leaned back. Like that's the way I'm kind of used to operating, where it's like I'm actually leaned back in my chair, so it lets me kind of chill. When I'm leaning forward, it's like, this is why I don't go through the dollar bins at the card show, because this is horrific posture. I try to avoid it if I can, but it is what it is. I'm having fun chatting with Vinny anyway, so it's like it's all good. But I would never try to do this for like our normal live stream length because my back would break and I would need a chiropractor. You were gonna say something, Vinny?
No, I was just reading a comment.
Oh, gotcha. So after watching Jeremy break those metal box open touch of 30-foot pole, that's fair. A-dub, all hearts signed. Are you referring to the AEW? Because I think they use stickers. Because I think they signed stack of stickers. Maybe I don't know which one you're referring to. Just curious. Caulfield is here to stay. It's Montreal and fans are crazy. That's fair enough. Pacific stuff is drying up. Yep, no, it's straight true. Yeah, for that price, it is insane. There's a lot of it. Let's see here. Yeah, buddy. No, like I'm serious. Like, in all jokes aside, Ed, I can appreciate and I applaud Ed's show recaps. Guys, I don't care who's. Sometimes you have to convince me that someone was like, Carlos, did you see when Jesus Christ came on the Ascension during the card show? And I was like, no, bro, I was eating a sandwich. I don't care. It's like, he can defer to me. He can come by and let me know that he's having the Ascension during that time. It's like, that's cool for you. That's awesome. I'm busy eating the sandwich because I'm Carlos. Now, please leave. Door stuck in your head? Yeah, nice. Yeah, I know it's bad. It really is bad. It really is bad. I bless them for trying, but it's like it's not great. And the back support on this thing is garbage. Although, by the way, guys, can you let me know? I've using the regular microphone, but I actually set it down with a stand. So far, I think it's been going all right. I've been appreciating it. It's been good.
It's been solid.
So, and it's good to know that this is a mobile setup that I can take with me, which is awesome. When I get back home, I can put it back on the arm, which is great. But it's like cool. I've been happy with it. I meant no redemptions. Okay, I'm with you. That's cool. Yeah, they did it on the Being in the Elite. That's what tipped people off that they were actually doing the AEW set. They actually showed them signing the stickers before they ever announced the set, which is a little sneak preview, which is kind of cool, actually. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Just wanted to double check. I wasn't. I mentioned at the beginning. It's like I wasn't sure if the hotel Wi-Fi was gonna. I actually cranked down my resolution as far down as it would go. I had no idea if the stream would even hold up. I did a bunch of tests and it looked like it was garbage, honestly. So I didn't think it would. It's like it seems to have done okay. I'm pretty happy with it. I was just happy to be able to do a live stream close to the night I usually do it. It's like, oh, thank God.
He was jonesing, fellas. He was jonesing.
I told Vinny, it felt weird. Like, dude, I know I'm at dinner, but like, this is so strange. Like, Bobby Burrell's right there, and like, He's not like in a box that I'm looking at him in. Talking to him through a box. What are you doing here in real life? Who are you? What is this? And Yannick should be over there on the computer typing things. What's going on? This is odd. What are you gonna do? It is what it is. Yeah, I would. That's kind of what I was hoping for, Paul, because I'm using a laptop, so I'm using a mobile setup, but it is the same microphone. So I was hoping it would. I'm hoping it sounds similar. That's basically what I wanted. Oh, look at you! Actually, that's kind of cool. That's all right.
It's the Best Buy special. I was supposed to get one for Christmas, and then I took it off the list after I found this thing. I'm like, it's old school looking. It's very 1950 Johnny Cash style. So I like the controls. You can plug this right into there. So these are usually wireless. So I just plug them right in, and then I don't lose power. I can still, it'll run off the power from the mic. So I don't have to turn these on unless I want the noise canceling.
Okay. No, that's good for conference calls and stuff. It works. That's kind of what you want. So am I attending the trade night? No, I am not. You did have to RSVP for it. I think they had 200 spots. So they did want to keep it to a controlled thing. They very much were very cognizant of that. I'm hoping that someone that does go will post some stuff, because I'm keeping an eye on the Instagram. I've been watching just to see and following. I will say, and I'll talk more about it later, I was networking with some folks. And I'm gonna have some folks that were definitely at the expo as well, and we'll have them on to chat about some stuff. I did have fun because one of the guys is a guy who's been out helping to promote a product that he's been doing with it. It makes enough sense, and I'm okay with it. It's one of those things, though, that one of the first things I said to him is like, "Hey, we're having a good conversation," because he's buddies with Eric, and I said, "Yep, no problem. We can definitely chat about it." But I said, "Hey, look, if we talk, we're also going to be talking about other stuff. So what do you collect? What do you like? What are you doing with other stuff?" Because for me, it's like that part really that's the part's important. But as we went and chatted along, actually, he's got some fun stories with some stuff when he was talking to some folks and trying to get things done. And I think you guys will enjoy it. And I'm not interested in promoting a product if you're not going to have a good conversation, if you're not going to participate and let's talk about other stuff. And he goes, "Dude, we can talk about whatever you want." Good. That you're going in the right direction, because that's exactly what we're going to do. So that makes sense.
Was Carvin up there?
I haven't seen him.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. I have to check his social media. I'd be surprised, because I would think it'd be a good excuse for Carvin to come back up, and like, he's been traveling. He's been making the miles. So
yeah,
I have not seen or heard anything from Carvin. That's a good question. I'm going to look into that. Actually, I want to find out now. I'm curious.
And to the metal, I watched Jeremy break those 3 boxes of metal because I was curious, and he just absolutely got demolished. But then you watch Ziri, his one box he did, and he had a PMG, and he had a couple good things out of there. So I probably wouldn't have bought them at a higher price, but they were a gift. So, but the better half did say 1 box is to open, 1 box is to put away. I'm like, better half, I like your style. So, and then retail was, I think you could get up to 5 boxes from Target.com at $29.99 a piece. So that, or maybe it was $24.99. I can't remember. But you could have your fill of retail boxes for, like I said, 5.5 weeks. Now you're not going to pull a jump. Well, you can pull a jambalaya. It's astronomical odds, but you couldn't get PMGs. You can't get the PMGs and the platinum, whatever things. The ones.
You mean the one where they cut out the holes?
Yeah,
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because those two you can't get. But I'll tell you, a sleeper is the number to 199 purple Spectrum. I think it's purple Spectrum.
Yeah, because I opened a blaster with Bob. So that was the one, and I pulled some. They look nice. I like them.
They're nice.
I like them.
Someone made a mistake the other day, and they must have had it on bids for 99 cents. Well, they put it back up and buy it now for 99 cents. And I hit to buy it now for $1.93 shipping. And I'm like, they're like, haha, you got us. I said, are you going to ship my card or are you going to cancel it? And they were cool. They actually shipped my card.
Oh, okay.
So I got a Drew Doughty to $1.99 for 99 cents. So kudos to those people who actually stood by.
You mean honor the sale?
Unlike what was it? When I was on the IRP that night, I bought something for 99 cents and then moments later it was canceled.
Yeah.
And then 4 weeks later, the guy ended up making me an offer on the card and I bought it anyhow. So
okay.
Can't remember what it was, but I digress.
That's fair enough. So Paul here says next time pack egg cartons. No, but we got to do, Paul, is if I'm going to do the mobile studio, I got to get a green screen, get like a soundproof, remember Get Smart? I got to get the cone of silence. Just drop the whole thing, and then the audio is perfect. I will never escape, but the audio will be perfect. Next morning housekeeping would be with WTF. That's right. Okay, so this is a good question from Hockey Guy. Are there a lot of boxes to dig through, mostly showcases? Tons of boxes to dig through. It is not my style to do that. However, to be said, and I want to, that's why I say I want to try to capture some of the booths so that you can see kind of the configuration. Plenty of folks had bargain bin boxes. They brought them, so you can sift through them, dollar bins and stuff. Plenty of folks had them. This is why I say, for a Vinny or an Ed or something like that, guys, this is for you. Knock yourselves out. Have fun. Let me know the name of your chiropractor and we'll call him in advance. Your back will be destroyed. Your neck will be destroyed. That's the reason why I got out of that. I know now I'm at the stage, and this happened to me years ago. This is when I was still in my 20s. I can't stand the posture to do it for very long. It actually starts bugging my neck almost immediately. Just having it tilted down and trying to do that, it bugs me. Plus, honestly, most of the time, I'm not seeing stuff that to me is worthwhile go and get. However, if you do have the energy, if your neck is not broken, if your back is not jacked up, then my friends, you can do very well in these boxes. I assure you. You really can. But you're better configured for that than I am because my back is somewhat jacked up and my neck doesn't like it when I do it for very long.
Joe picked up Dr. Exclusive. He picked up a bunch of Lemieux. I think there was 40 of them.
Yeah.
In a bulk deal. So, I mean, and there was some solid inserts.
Yeah.
And I saw one person post that they don't see a lot of 90s stuff. I'm like,
I don't think you're looking hard enough. I wasn't going on my way, but I saw some stuff.
Well, I'm looking at everything that Good Doctor posted, and there's some 80s, 90s. I'm just gonna go back and check real quick.
Well, I'll give you a quick story about that, Vinny. I think you'll like this one. So one thing that I think a lot of those folks forget, especially when they're looking at showcases, just to be clear, and this is a good tip in general, just be aware of this. Sometimes when you look at a card in a showcase, if it looks like it's slightly elevated, there's a good chance there's a card or cards underneath it. And sometimes you have to ask what it is, even if it's just out of curiosity. Sometimes be like, hey, by the way, what's under, that card? When I went to the table, the guy, like I said, who's setting up with my buddy, where I bought the Juan Gonzalez and Yannick bought the Juan Soto, he had some stuff on the side, like Marvel cards and stuff as well, and et cetera, et cetera. But I saw one where it looked like it was a Vladdy Jr. and it was slightly elevated. And it was a variant of a Vladdy Jr. that I have. Because I brought a couple of those. I haven't even attempted to make any trade deals, but I could. I brought some stuff just in case. But it was a little elevated. I go, it's a thick card, but it's not that thick. And I go, hey, just out of curiosity, what's underneath the Vladdy Jr.? And he goes, I don't know. I don't remember. So he goes, and he picks it up, and underneath is an autograph card of Coolio. And I was like, of course, Coolio, as you do. I just thought it was funny. I was like, yep, Coolio on card. Who wants a Coolio? I know you want a Coolio. Don't lie to me.
Warehouse 64, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was funny. Of all the things to be underneath, and I would never have known had I not asked what was underneath the card. So you don't know. Who would have predicted Coolio before I said it? If I had given you 1,000 tries, would you have come up with Coolio?
What was it? Yvonne Lendl from the other night. I would have guessed that before Coolio.
That's what I'm saying. But the point is, you will never know if you don't ask. So sometimes there's stuff underneath you have to ask. If you want to know, this is the only way you're going to find out. And
Th-
it could be Coolio or it could be something else.
There's they're on the other side of the state from me. They're towards the Kalamazoo side, so we're talking west coast of Michigan. They're called Chase After the Right Price.
Mm.
They're basically, he runs an online store that's mostly video games, but he's gotten into cards. But they always say about the power of the ask.
Yeah.
And I have noticed in my many years of dealing at card shows that when I go to this particular dealer, I say, "What's under that?" He's like, "Well, it's a stack of 80 stuff. Can I look at it, please?"
Yeah.
And there was Iserman rookie on top, but then underneath was several other Eisman rookies. One was an O-Pee-Chee. And I said, "Are these all the same price?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "I'll take the O-Pee-Chee version, please,
Mm-hmm.
for the same price as a Tops for that particular year."
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm dealing with 89.90, I'll probably take the Tops, Leech, and Sakic because that year is a little backwards. It's usually the O-Pee-Chee stuff that's of the rare ilk.
Yeah,
But look at it.
we've talked about it though. We don't think the discrepancy makes actual sense. If you break it down like for real, it probably doesn't make sense. It's been accepted. It's just like, yeah, that's the way it is that year. I
Yeah,
don't know if it makes sense.
I don't know if it makes sense either,
Yeah.
but I just go by. I like them both, so I just when you can get Brian Leach rookies for 25 cents a piece,
Hmm.
just buy the stack of 15 and call it a day. Theo
Okay.
Fleury.
That's fine.
I
Yeah.
was like, I looked in there. I'm like, if I bought all these, what would you do? He's like, what do I have them marked at? I'm like, 50 cents a piece. There's 20 here. He's like, $8. I'm like, that works. So instead of 10, 8, but still, look at the centering. There were some nicely centered copies. Others were just absolutely horrendous. Like the Mike Bossy rookie I bought for $10. Absolutely, or maybe it was a Brian Trottier. Absolutely horrendously cut. But for $10, and it's been sitting in his showcase, he goes probably for 12 years and no one's bought it. The likelihood of it being fake is less likely.
No, that makes sense. You're probably okay with that one. Yeah. So I'll read this one here. So Ed says, card shows are the best. I just love the social. Ed, you like card shows? This is news to me. News to me. But thank you for sharing that. I love the social interaction. When you have community people and friends there, it's always a blast. Kind of gives you renewed focus on hobby. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. I think some folks are enjoying. That's why it's been fun. I tease about it a little bit, but it's been fun to see Eric's enjoyment of it because he is now he's the baseball oracle in fairness. So it has been interesting to him being acquainted of this hockey. He's been learning about the hockeys. So that's important. But no, he's been running around like a kid, and he met Marcel Dion, and like I'll have him at some point tell the story. But like Marcel Dion, the restraining order is pending. But the point is that he was very excited about meeting Marcel Dion. The important thing is that he was very excited about it. And that's
What
good.
a what a head of hair on Marcel Dion
That's
still.
right. Yeah.
I saw that. That's the first thing I noticed, and I showed the better half looked to me. You're looking at his hair. I'm like, dude's got to be.
It's a glorious mane, is it not?
I was like, it's like my old man. It's like Vinny Senior. I'm like that for me, and I'm like Vinny Senior still has a beautiful head of hair, and sometimes it's mesmerizing. What can I say?
I listen. It is what it is, my friend. It is what it is. You got to accept it. So, what percentage was high end versus low end? So, you got to understand, hockey guy, and like I think you get this. When you've got the value boxes, you know it's going to skew low end. Now, that isn't to say there isn't high end because there's tons. But like obviously, if you get a 3,200 count box, a 5,000 count box of like low end, low end, low end, low end, low end, and a bunch of tables. But then you got another table that's got the showcase with like $20,000 and $50,000 cards and $100,000 cards. The answer to that is yes. All of the above. It's got high end, low end, middle end, whatever you want. Whatever level you're comfortable at and want to play at, we got something for you. You just got to go to the right dealer because some of them are more specializing. Some of them are going to focus on the showcases, but some of them have got value boxes like, hey, have fun. go play. So it helps you. Is metal also retail? Yes. Linchpins is one of them. I think that's one of the. I don't remember if
No,
there's an exclusive. Do they have it in
no
the?
linchpins.
They don't have it in the metal hockey for this one.
No, no linchpins. Now,
Okay.
if you look for, they already came out. I think House of Cards 1. Dave even mentioned it. They already have a configuration for 21, 22
Okay.
metal.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see some of the same players, but there are different inserts, which I kind of like because very much to Dave's comment, don't overdo it. Don't put the same thing every year. Don't keep feeding us the same thing and we'll stay hungry for it. So I think linchpins would be a good one for 22, 23. EX hasn't shown up yet. So we know what that could be with essential credentials.
Yeah.
But with Gene coming back, are we going to see a resurfacing of Flair Showcase, Flair Ultra? We had so many cancellations this year, no trilogy. It was an interesting year because Upper Deck actually canceled products.
Mm-hmm.
There's trying to think of the one. I mean, SP Authentic isn't coming out till January for 2021. And I saw a Cole Caulfield card in there that's hard signed. I'm like, that's interesting because in theory, 21, 22 Series 1 will be his Young Guns.
Mm-hmm.
But a product coming out after it for the previous year is going to have a hard signed rookie card in it. How's that going to work?
Well, I think life is going to be very complicated with the manufacturers. They're going to have some interesting discussions that they're going to have because you're going to have people questioning stuff the whole time. And what do you do like if certain things get delayed and you had a certain plan and then you had the checklist configured a certain way and you're doing and then you got to play shenanigans with the rookie classes and like how do you want to stretch it and what kind of weirdness are you going to try to pull off? It's not an easy discussion to have. And it's going to throw
Yeah.
everybody off this year.
We didn't have Stature this year, which
Mm-hmm.
was an interesting one. And they didn't even have that on the docket. I never even saw that Stature was coming out this year.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I like Stature. I don't
Excuse me.
feel like it's necessary to have it every year.
No.
I thought it was a good product. I built the rainbow for the Medana with it. It's a nice looking rainbow. But do I need it again this year? Not really.
What was the other one? What's their version of credentials?
For
It
Upper Deck?
was- Ziri talked about it. It's like this is clearly a homage to Panini's. I can't think of what it was.
Okay. Take a second and think about it and let me grab some of these. I like Hockey Guy's question. My reaction is Coolio has an autograph? Of course. And it was on card. Coolio. Yep, absolutely. These problems will continue until supply chains improve. That's true. And I don't think that's going to be a quick fix. I don't think it's not like you're going to snap your fingers and supply chains are suddenly good to go because you're also going to have a backlog of whatever everybody wants to produce because some of these printers and stuff are producing the stuff, but they're producing for multiple manufacturers. So even when you figure, okay, so we got our paper now, we got our materials that we need, cool. Okay, so whose thing are you going to print first? I don't know. I don't. I don't have the answer to that. Like who was next in line, or who has priority, or what do you want to do? And those are all questions that I would have. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know.
It was credentials, 1920.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it was actually credentials. Gotcha.
Yep. So we haven't saw that. We didn't see that for 2021 either.
I'm not devastated, Vinny. I'm not gonna lie. I understand the weirdness, but like, look, guys, it's not like we don't have a lot of products. we've had over the last couple of years a lot of products, and I'm cool with you relaxing. Like it's okay. I am coolio with you relaxing on the products.
Ingrained is another one. We
Yes,
had
that's
that.
true.
We had the two versions that 1 year, and then we haven't seen Ingrained yet.
Hmm.
So that's another one that's fallen by the wayside. And the cup, I don't think for 2021. I think that's due in December as well now. So two of their biggest products are coming out in the 21-22 season.
Hmm. I think it's fair. So, so Jay, to answer that question, a fair bit. I want to like. So now I'm gonna keep in the back of my mind that I want to capture a little bit of the variety of some of these because I went through some of the tables, and I definitely saw some because some folks had like, but some of them had boxes, some of them had singles. There's a bit of a mixed bag. Definitely saw some wrestling. Definitely saw some of the dog cars and Batman. Like old and new. I actually saw one that I hadn't seen at the show. Mind you, I wasn't paying as close attention previously. There is like it's like an Italian or whatever. There's a Babe Ruth card that's like a bigger card that's like an art card, and it's like Selena Babe Ruth or something. I have to find the name of it. I'll see if I can remember it for later, and I'll find it. I've seen the card before. It's a nice looking card. It's a reasonably priced Babe Ruth for what it is, and it's a nice looking card. It's a playing days Ruth. And it traditionally was the cool example of if you would like a Babe Ruth from playing days that isn't ridiculously priced, it looks nice, this is the one. And I saw one of those for 1,000, which is not obscene. It wasn't that crazy, like all things considered. I don't have 1,000 drop on it, but I thought I was like, oh, I know that one. It's a cool card.
What about soccer? How's soccer looking?
El Soccer. You want some
Football.
Mbappe? Some Mbappe? I know some dealers basically specialize in it. I don't think I saw as crazy. Like, obviously, if I go to Dallas, I can find some dealers that like exclusive deal in it. I know I saw some, and I know I saw some wax, and I know I saw some singles. I didn't see the craziness, mind you. I think what I got to do though is look at some of the guys who have a lot of the shiny stuff, because with the amount of new product they've released on it, there's got to be some hidden in there. I know, mind you, some of it might be like, hey, check underneath, check underneath the pile. It might be there.
I found if you because I'm really jonesing. I screwed up and I told the story on the IRP. I went to visit my folks back in August, and we happened to go in a Target, and I'm like, there's a card shop inside that mall. I'm like, I got 20 minutes. I'll be back. I'll grab these 5 blasters of Soccer Chronicles. I have time. Who would pick this up? They've been sitting here probably all this time.
Mhm.
I went back and they were gone. So, moral of the story, if you want something, grab it.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but I've been watching pricing go down a little bit, and it's almost back to some of the products at MSRP.
Hmm.
So she's a goalie for soccer, so she likes soccer. I'm gonna dabble in it. Where I have my player, Luka Modric, who's the captain of the Croatian team,
Okay.
and the goalie for Italy. I started grabbing him and Allison Becker, who's a goalie for in the Champion League, and haven't got any of the big stars. I like certain players, so that's who I'm going to grab. But it'd be nice to get a Messi or Ronaldo, Mbappe, um, the Pulisic, those guys, something just for the personal collection. Ed grabbed a awesome soccer card the other day with a heck of a story.
Mhm.
So if you check out Ed,
Are you picky at all about it? Is it one of those things where because I'm going to be out and about, and if I see like an inexpensive Mbappe, is that something you'd be interested in? Like,
not really.
yeah,
I'm very I'm on the Luka Modric kick,
okay,
and it's being mostly Croatian from ethnic origin and Italian and Slovenian and Austrian. I lean towards something towards my ethnicity.
Okay.
And Luka Modric is someone I've watched when I've watched soccer, both Premier League and internationally during like the Cups, the Olympics, what have you. And I gravitated towards him. So right now, that's sort of my. I got a Steve Aoki card of Mr. Luka Modric the other day, and it was a black refractor. And the only reason I won it because it looked cool as all heck, number to 99. So, despite it being the Steve Aoki version, it went for a very reasonable price, and I thought it really cool. So, and the Sapphire singles, the base guys who aren't your superstars, you can get them for $2 or $3, and it's kind of nice. I got actually one of the, I think it's Sapphire, but it's like one of the parallels. It's aquamarine. There's some
Okay.
oddballs,
Okay.
and it's numbered to 150. I got it the other night for like $6,
Hmm.
and it's just something on the side. Something when the Lemieux aren't popping. I actually set a bid on it and forgot about it, and then hey, you won this. Excuse me. So that's I've been doing that a lot lately. The dollar bids with 93 cents shipping, something in that range, and setting it and forget it, and then all of a sudden wake up the next day and they're in my cart. So $2 really decent insert wins to me are always nice.
Interesting. All right. Fair enough. Now, the guys are asking the important questions. Vanilla Ice rookie cards. Millie Vanilli. That's important. Some Hanson. Yeah. Yeah. This is what we got to get. What I got to do is I got a six sports card investor. I got to point Jeff in the direction, bro. Let's get a top five on this shit. Let's get this to happen. You're the man for this job. It's like, but you are literally the man for this job. No one else should do it. Just you.
It was before I moved here in 2010. There's a store in the States called Big Lots.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
my dad and I were out there. We were getting pizza, and the Big Lots is right next to the pizza joint. And we walked in there, and they literally had a pallet of Marvel boxes. The
Mhm.
ones that go for like $400 now,
Yeah.
they were $5 a piece. And I looked at my dad and said, something tells me that I should buy these right now and just let them sit at your house for like 10 years or so.
Is this the
I don't
91
know.
though? Is this the 91, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There was multiple. So there were boxes of Ultra. There were several boxes of multiple years. It's like I don't know where they got it, but it was there. And I'm like, I have two kids. I'm going to be buying a house. I'll pass.
I will say though, the 91 set, I know that it obviously bumped up quite a bit and went crazy. They printed the hell out of that. The one now, mind you, they printed the hell out of a lot of them. The one that sticks to me, I remember the 91, but only a little bit. Um, Around 94, I want to say they had masterpieces.
Hmm.
And what they did is they had the ones where they did the art on it, but it was like paintings and stuff like that. And Roberto, my brother, went and got that stuff because that's his thing, Marvel. He enjoyed that stuff, but I remember we'd get it at the dollar store, whatever. But what happened is a lot of those packs, the way they were, there's certain thicknesses, and he was to the point that he it didn't take him very long. Like he almost immediately figured it out, and like he could always get the good inserts. So he'd grab a pile of the packs and get all the things, and then go take it home and like insert, 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 insert. And he could just tell, like almost immediately, just grab it. But it was at the dollar store, like it were inexpensive packs anyway. So we were grabbing them, and he stacks it up, and he would like put together like the regular set and a bunch of the insert sets and whatever. They're nice looking. I'm not a comic guy, but like I can tell, like the art on it was great. The art on it was amazing. Now down the road, look forward to the future. It took a long time. Stuff like that, I have no reason why I wouldn't see that should be able to go for a pretty good price because number one, the art's great, but number two, with the borders the way they were, that thing can chip like hell. So if you got a nice condition one, That condition sensitivity would make it tougher to come by. I can
Yeah.
see that. I can see that.
And to a lot of people's point, they were talking about boxes the other day. All the wear of sitting in a case for
Yeah.
20 years, it's gonna have effects on the cards. But I still enjoy picking that stuff up. Like the I think it's what 92, 90, yeah, 92, 93 Flare Ultra, the first year Flare Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone got the bright idea that should be like $50 a box now, and I was picking them up for $10. But the other night they had a auction, and I was able to get 2 boxes for $20 a piece.
Yep.
And I probably have several boxes, but that's sort of like my catcher in the rye from I forget what movie with Mel Gibson, but I feel safe and comfortable when I can pick up a box and say, hey, it's my 92, 93. That's the year that really solidified me in the hobby. But I just like that.
Is this the
box.
one? Is this the one where he was like a writer or whatever, and it was like Julia Roberts, and
Yeah,
basically it turned out he was kind of nuts.
yeah. He was. He was a conspiracy theory. I think it was. That's what.
So the movie might have been called Conspiracy Theory then,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
I know the one you're talking about because I was thinking about it. It's like I know what the one you're referring to, and then as the movie unraveled, it turned out that there was a whole thing. There actually was a thing going on with him,
yeah.
and it was like some weirdness.
He was in the middle of a conspiracy theory. It was actually true.
Yeah.
So, and at the end, he's singing. He's getting carted off by the government, and he's watching her ride a horse. I think that's the one. And he's singing, and he gets the FBI agents to sing with him. So, yeah, I think that's the movie. Since you are a DVD person,
Yeah, it was,
Blu-ray.
but it was an interesting movie, but it's a very weird movie, very very
Yes,
strange, mind you. But like I said before, Mel Gibson fully lost his mind. He made some great movies.
that he did.
He made some great movies. So I want to catch this one. If La
Ah,
Soccer is present, then maybe La Formula One is underneath. Valid. Some of the favorite pickups of the year: Iron Maiden, Judas Priest logo holograms. Listen, man, my statement stands, and you can quote me on this. If you like it, enjoy it. Like honestly, if it works for you and you like it, please, whatever. I'll make fun of a ton of things, and I will, but I'll never make fun of like if you actually legitimately like it. It's like cool, nothing wrong with that. That's fine. You like it, you like it. Great. Don't forget cricket, very important. Croquet, yes, very good. Man, Big Lots, yeah. Marvel masterpiece, great. The movie is called Conspiracy Theory. Hockey guy likes Apocalypto, yeah. No, it's fair. No, like there was a lot of good, like there was a ton. There was a run there where he was doing a lot. There have been some actors who have like these amazing runs where they'll put together like actually you hit on a bunch. It doesn't even have to be all hit movies. It could just be good movies that you're in for a while. You have this run where it's like, yeah, that's a good movie. Yep, that's a good movie too.
what was it? He did Payback,
Yeah.
which was really good.
Now, for the
Uh,
record, which one? Do you like the director's cut or the theatrical cut? There
I
is
don't know.
one right answer to this, Vinny. One right answer.
I don't know if I've seen both of them.
Okay. So for the record, the theatrical cut is the one that I'll stand by, but I have a Blu-ray that's imported that has both versions. The one that they'll put a lot of times is called director's like the straight cut, although maybe they finally released the other one. The theatrical cut one, is basically a different movie.
Hmm.
It's the same character, two different movies. They had to reshoot a chunk of it for the theatrical cut. They redid it. The other one was a director's cut. Basically a different movie. Very strange.
Interesting.
It was one of the few times I can remember. It's like, actually, that movie is completely different depending on whether you watch the director's cut or the theatrical. It's the same guy, but it's two different films entirely because in one of them, the villain basically doesn't exist. In the other one, the villain's literally in the movie. Two different movies.
Interesting. I have to look at that.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually very interesting. It was one of the few I've never seen it that way before. It's very odd. Yeah, Payback was a very good movie.
Yes.
I'll stand by the theatrical. I watched the other version. It's fine. But like it's the other one to me it's just like it's okay. The one where it's done that way, the theatrical, I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I also like Get Carter with Stallone.
I think that was good. I think it was good. I think I enjoyed it for what it was. Sometimes I grade on a bit of a curve, but it is what it is. Braveheart's a great one. Lethal Weapon, Mad Max. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Some good stuff. So what we'll do here is we'll wind her down. Like, we got basically a full show out of it. I was super pleased. I was super happy.
Yeah, our half hour test run we were going to do turned
Well,
into
you
2
got to roll
hours.
with it, Vinny. You know how this works. You got to roll with
Yes.
it. If it is what it is. So any kind of last, I want to get if there's any last questions. I'll see what happens. I am going to record some more stuff for video and stuff. I'll put something together on the channel. I was just happy to do a live stream close to the normal time. Like it would have been very strange this week not having one. But anything else Expo wise that you're curious about, or anything that I can fill in the gaps of? I did partake and look around some of the stuff, but oh, and I'll say one more thing about kind of the segment. One thing that I thought was almost a saving grace, but I don't know if it ended up working out, was that the area at the end, if you go all the way around, the area at the end where they stuck some dealers that were the newer dealers a little bit, it's right beside the area where they did panels and stuff. So when they would say, "Hey, you want to go see the panel, whatever," they would direct people to that kind of that hidden area. So you had to go find it. But if you did, then you accidentally stumbled on an entire set of rooms.
Hmm.
So like eventually you'd be like, wait a minute, there's more dealers here? They got more cards? Whoa. So by accident they would direct you there, but it was almost like you'd almost need to have a complete you'd have to have like we're gonna do one panel after another to like prompt people to go, oh by the way, there's another room with more stuff and more people.
That it sounds like when they talk about Dallas, how there's hallways and corridors and places where there's like a whole local size show in that area. There's like 100 tables. You're like, out here you got 1,000 tables, but there's 4 rooms that have 100 tables apiece. So you're talking 4 mini shows within a big show, which if you sit there, for me being the first time I would be going, I would probably, like I said, be at the door at 8 o'clock in the morning, through the door, and going through all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to find the money tree very shortly, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the key for me going to the expo.
Finding the money tree?
Well, that and the to have the list honed down to everything that I can't find.
Sure.
And it's getting there. It's getting to where I have everything broken down by brands.
Mm-hmm.
And certain things I think I will only find at the expo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Tops insert. I think it's called Homegrown.
Yeah.
Cardboard Adventures has talked about it. But there's 2 series. Well, in series 2, where the Lemieux is, they also put series 1 in there. So they diluted the pack ratio.
Mm.
So by putting series 1 in series 2 is often, I've seen it once, the Lemieux Homegrown. It was $63, Center Ice Collectibles in Canada, but he didn't have a picture. He just had his Center Ice logo there. And I said, do I chance it? That thought took about a 4-minute process of me saying, you know what, it's rare enough. I'm going to just do it. Worst case scenario, I could probably send it back. By the time I went back, in 4 minutes, it was gone. The rarity of that is pretty, 95, 96 tops.
Yep.
It has Messier. It's Messier on the cover because 96, 97, you got into NHL picks, which was split between Fleer, had the even number cards, and I think Topps NHL picks had the odd number cards.
That sounds about right. It was a weird configuration. It was a bit unusual in the way they approached this site to take it. It was a little odd. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yep.
So let me quickly this is actually a good comment here. And then I remembered one thing I was going to mention, so I'll include that here at the end real quick. Happy I didn't go to a show here in Vegas, heard one table. I think for those ones you go for the experience. Like I would go to Vegas, obviously I would go to Vegas. But I also collect baseball. I also collect some other stuff. So for me, it's the same. I had the conversation last night with the dinner. I said I would love to go to a Dallas show because then we got to go and then the hockey oracle can tell me all the hockey things. That's important. But the thing is, if you go there, I'll see when they do the Dallas show recaps and stuff, and you'll see the guys wearing Dallas Stars shirts, and there's like no hockey in the table, which is funny. But then when I go on eBay and I want to buy some high end Medano, oh, I'm in Lakeland, Texas, or I'm in this thing, or I'm in Fort Worth, or whatever. And it's like, why are none of y'all at the show? Because y'all got the high end stuff that I'm buying from you from Texas. But when we look at the Dallas show, it's not there.
That is a true statement because I've purchased 3 cards in the last month, and they've all come from Texas.
Yeah, there's the stuff is there. I assure you, the stuff is there in the state somewhere.
It's medium level pricing, $60, $70 mark, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
But it's in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So go to the Dallas show, set up. We'll come eventually.
Yeah. I think either way, though, it'd be fun because the show has built itself up enough where I would still be interested in checking it out. Like I said, I collect other sports. So for me, it's like, no, that's fine. If you got the other thing, I'll look for some Sotos and stuff. Like, they've got some stuff. So it's not a big deal. And from time to time, I'll grab the odd football card. I'm not going to go out of my way. But if it's there, I'm interested. Yeah, if you show me something interesting, that's great. That's fine. So real quick here. But as I say, like for a lot of those, it's got to be more of a destination. If you're going to go there, treat it like a vacation. Go check out like I would go as a vacation where there happens to be a card show there. I would treat it that way. So at Center Ice Fan, anything I need to buy ASAP? Yep. Dealer from Alabama with lots of PSC 9 Gretzky stuff. Yeah, it's always the unusual ones. It's not where you would think it would be. So real quick, I wanted to touch on this right at the end. So this is a little thing. We talked about it earlier, but I wanted to touch on it. We were talking about the getting the list to the show. And I mentioned that I was going to talk about the 2 like main things. So I'm in the Apple ecosystem. I got the laptop, I got the iPhone and stuff. For me, the one that has worked really well, and again, your mileage may vary, but this is stuff that's already out of the box. I'm not talking about special apps or anything. I'm talking about just out of the box. Good old Notes. So if you're in the Apple ecosystem, Notes, you can sync it up. So if you got a computer that can do it, you can type out your list and copy it on here. It syncs up to this guy. That's super handy. That's super handy. Now, if you're in Android or whatever, well, you could use Google because you can use Google Docs and stuff and sync it up that way. That's one option. The other option, if you've got the like package and stuff, you can always go. So I'm giving you paid and non-paid options. One other option that you can do is if you've got the Microsoft Office suite, you can do OneNote. So if you happen to have the subscription to OneNote, you can sync that up. And again, it can sync up to your phone. And it doesn't have to be an Apple phone. It can be an Android phone. Anything where you can have it on your computer and on the phone and it can sync, you can use it to take your list with you. And then, say you're on the road here, I can go in here, update my list here manually, and again, it will sync up to the phone. So some tricks to give you another option. And I did this also when I wanted to do, for some of the cards, I wanted to have comps. So I took screenshots here, and then I attached it to the file so that I could access it here. And if it's already loaded on the phone, guess what? We're good to roll here. So it's like, there are options. So just give you an example. So I did this. So I can, and I did this all on the computer. And then here, and now it's synced up. And now I can access it whenever I want to because it's already loaded on here. It's just another option. And it doesn't, you don't got an iPhone, great. Do it on Android, doesn't matter. Just do it a different way. You need a different piece of software, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
But that is a lifesaver at the show because I already have my checklist right there. I can look it up and it's like, so when I was grabbing the singles for the set, I know which ones I need because I've got it on the thing. I just put the phone on the table, started scrolling, and found the thing, and there it is, my numbers that I need.
Yeah, the good thing about the Lemieux stuff, most of it's in here. What I don't need, what I need, and what I have. I have not bought any duplicates other than stuff that I wanted duplicates of. So
how many different Lemieux do you have now, though? Like unique. I'm talking about unique.
It's got to be close to 2,000 now.
Okay.
We had this discussion, I think, when we were talking about super collecting with Dave and Steve that day. Steve looked it up. Lemieux has like 10,000 cards, and that was about a year ago.
Yeah.
But 6,000 of them are ITG. The one-on-ones. So you drop that number right to 4,000. So I'm probably near half of the stuff out there. I'm not going to own the 101s, the cup stuff. Is it nice? Yeah. But to me, having the key cards that are on my list is what I want.
Sure.
There are stuff out there. If I can pick it up, great. Like the better half got me that piece of the Penguin skate in my
Mm-hmm.
first Lemieux auto.
Mm-hmm.
Lemieux autos are not cheap. They're
Nope.
not cheap at all. It's probably one of my least focused stuff. Is the same with patches and jerseys, were my least focused, focused the least on it. But lately, I've been picking up more patch cards and jersey cards because they've been popping up and they've been popping up cheap,
Mm-hmm.
where I can get a beautiful patch, a beautiful swatch for $20 because people don't bid on them. Because now there's some rare stuff that, like the Arctic freeze from, I think it's Artifacts. They have a run that's to 25, 50, 75, and 100.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting that. Actually, I got them all on the night of my daughter's taste testing for her wedding because I was sitting there and she's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." She goes, "You're bidding on cards, aren't you?" I said, "Shh, no one has to know." But I ended up picking them up that night for really decent pricing. And I don't think I've ever shown them.
Okay.
I might have. I can't even remember. That's another thing. I've gotten so involved with putting my sets together that IG has become, every once in a while I'll update it with a show recap or a card I picked up. But I've been really lacking on updating Instagram lately. So when I get back into it, there should be a barrage because, like I said, I hit that vein for about 3 or 4 weeks there where there was stuff I just couldn't pass up. And the cool thing is one of the sellers sent me extra cards. I was like, this is odd because I think he had the same cards up for sale. Did he mistakenly send me? He had a 180 point top loader, two of
Mm-hmm.
them. Both of them were filled to the gills with cards. And I'm like, I messaged him. I said, "Hey, are these mine? If so, thank you very much. If not, let me know. I'll send them back to you. Those are very much yours. Thank you for all the business. By the way, if you see something," and he has a nice selection. I actually wrote a list of all the stuff I didn't have on a piece of paper. And he's like, "I'll work with you if you want to get some bulk stuff together and put a deal together." I said, "Cool. That sounds like a plan."
Yeah.
Uh, it's always nice that, people that don't take offers that'll work something out. Because I saw on his page 5 cards got taken off, and it had a card with a single picture, but it said for somebody. I guess he didn't realize how to do it, but he made like a bulk deal and he put it on there and then told the guy, and 2 minutes later it was gone.
Okay.
So somebody bought that for like $264. You didn't know what was in it other than the one picture. But it said the description was deal for whoever it was, and then it was gone.
Mm.
The only bad thing is if somebody's like, "Oh, what could that be?" and they buy that, that would be problematic.
Well, that's always been like I've done some deals like that, but it's always a bit risky. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, I'll put it up there for you at this price. I understand they want the eBay protections, like I get that,
Yep.
but it is like you'd better be in immediate, you better be in like quick communication to be like, okay, as
Yeah.
soon as you hit that button list, give me the link, I'll go straight to it, done. But it's got to be like instant.
Yeah. There was last Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame. I bought 3 cards. It was a lot for $3.98, 93 cents shipping. He writes me back. He's like, "Hey, your stuff will go in the mail Monday. I have more of this stuff. Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Post it. I'll pick it up depending on what it is." Well, he sends me the message after he has it all posted, and I said, "Well, cool. I bought the 2 you posted." He goes, "Well, I posted 4, but they were gone. 2 of the 4 were gone immediately." I'm like, don't post it and then send me a message. Hey, in 5 minutes they're going to be on. Be ready. And then I would have bought all 4 of them. So,
Yeah.
but stuff that I collect on the side that I never know, trade bait for the future, different things.
Sure.
But they're cheap enough where they're really nice cards. I like them, and for the price, why not?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. So I think what we'll do is thank you to those of you who have been hanging on the chat. I know it's super late. For Paul, it's not so bad. Like, Paul's fine. He's good. I know for some of the guys that are out in the West, for them, it's okay. But, hey, we got in a live stream. And for those of you who are usually around to the end, hey, we're right around the time we usually finish up anyway. We started later, but we finished about where we usually finish up, and much to our collective surprise. So it was a little bonus. It wasn't expected. I'll see what happens if there's anything else that I can. I'll post something else up at the channel. So we'll definitely see what happens with that. Okay, so you're out on the West. So yeah, so basically we're pushing, but like from the usual show, when Bobby and I go, we're going right around the time where it hits the next day over the West too. So sometimes we get there, and we're almost there. No, absolutely, I appreciate it, Ozzy Card Dad. So yeah, no, it's been fun. Definitely, I'll try to do some more stuff from the expo as far as grabbing little bits and pieces. Some of it will be some video stuff that I'll include in the vlog. I also am endeavoring to tomorrow. I talk to some folks. I want to take some pictures with some folks to be like, hey, this is who I walked into and some stuff, and we'll stitch together a little bit of a story of what happened with it. That's part of the reason why I wanted to go through some of that stuff tonight. Just because, but then hopefully I'll be able to do the pictures and the videos to kind of accompany, like, now you can understand what I'm saying. When I'm talking about, like, going into the room and doing all this, I want to show you so that way you can see it for yourself, and now you'll understand, and it'll give you a little taste, but now we give you some context too. So I think that'll be a part of it as well. And then we'll have some fun. And then next week it'll be back to a more regular schedule. We'll do the usual thing, and then that'll be fun. And then Vinny and I will talk offline where he makes some serious hashtag making moves, serious deals.
That's what I do.
Vinny, thank you for hanging out with me.
It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Dream would be a pick with Dapsman. Dare we live the dream? I haven't seen Dapsman. I haven't heard any rumors. Haven't seen the man. Haven't seen someone wearing the hat the wrong way. I've been the one in there wearing a hat. C is for Carlos. Yeah, next picture will show all. You'll see. But I'm wearing. But by the way, it's a fitted hat. With sizing. None of that adjustable crap. It's for peasants. Moving on. Anyway, on that note, guys, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Have yourselves a good night. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.